Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a nice fall evening. Doesn't seem like fall here yet in Pittsburgh. We're still getting 80 plus degrees during the day. Nice and sunny. Okay, we're going to kind of analyze, again, the interpretation of what happens with indecision in this market. Basically, we saw it move, the market moving sideways for 2 months with mostly little doji, indecisive trading days. Then a big wacko day on Friday and brought it right back up today. So the net results is we're still right here in this sideways trading range. Now, because we know what should happen after a candlestick reversal signal, we've got a lot easier analysis of what should be happening in the market based upon how they open things tomorrow. For example, piercing signal. If they open up positive and start taking a positive, that tells us the piercing signal is our reversal signal. This might be the blast off. On the other hand, if they do not confirm the piercing signal, if we start seeing the pre-market futures lower and they start trading it lower, we know they've broken this down and this was just a rebounding in the initial downtrend. So I guess the question is, can we predict which way the market's going to go from here? Definitely not. Can we analyze what the market's going to do based upon how it opens from here? Definitely. So that's what gives us a little bit of an advantage. If they open it lower tomorrow, you want to be a lot more diligent with your long positions, and then just get ready to short, have some short positions ready. Same scenario on the NASDAQ. The only difference is that we're still just below the T-line. So it'll still be very important how they open this market tomorrow. But remember, the bigger the signal, the more compelling there's been a change of investor sentiment. So it'll be very important to see how they open this market tomorrow. And the transportation index, same scenario. Not quite a piercing signal. It doesn't look like it made it halfway up. So once again, it'll be pretty important to see how they open things tomorrow. The Russell, same scenario. So some of the other indicators, the that's not what I wanted to do. Back 6. Crude oil, as you can see, is now starting to wedge in here, which means not going to have any real strong uptrend or any strong downtrend here probably for a little bit. Richard, that all depends on what your time frame is that you're going to hold things. Oh, that's the transportation index. What was, if you look at the weekly charts, the indices are at or above the T-line. Just barely. Stochastics heading down. So you still have the same criteria even on your weekly. That if things open up positive tomorrow, bringing you back up above the T-line, it looks like it'd be heading up. If it opens lower, you didn't climb up above the T-line. All right, let me... And you can see the dollar is kind of in this wedge formation. So really no direction on the dollar. Gold. You can see there's really no major direction here. Wouldn't be trading gold right now. Up a little bit this after hours, but still wouldn't be trading gold. We did crude oil, right? Didn't take a look at the soybeans. was trading up today but pulled back, and as you can see, there's nothing here. So this is the nice element to candlesticks, is that the visual will kind of tell you whether you want to be trading that that entity or not. And in this case, you can look at this chart and say, well, shoot, we don't know which way it's going. Move on to something else. If the market going to keep whipsawing until the Fed makes a commitment, who knows, Ron? We don't know what the market is going to do. We can just tell you what the market is telling us that it's doing. And right now, it's pretty much telling us it doesn't know which way it wants to go. Whoops. And it still doesn't know which way it wants to go. So what else do we got here? I guess we did all the silver, gold. Okay. So now, here's kind of where you observe the obvious. This is why I always like to play the patterns. CVRR, we're recommending from over a week ago. And you can see how it's got this big fry pan bottom. It's got this slow curve. But look what it did Friday. When the market was down 400 points, they were still buying this. So you have to assume that if this pattern is still in progress, or this pattern, not if, this pattern was still in progress, which tells us there was something happening in this on this chart that had total disregard for what was going on in the Dow. Would you consider break of ice on a blue ice failure? Is that what you're looking for on the Dow? It won't be a blue ice failure until they come up and they test the 50 and fail. That's when you're blue ice failure. So we still have to see what it's planning on doing here. Now, if it opens lower tomorrow and stays trading lower, that tells us this was just a rebound bounce. So anyways, this is why you always want to kind of learn your patterns, because they have a lot more significance. And if you add up, or if you add your individual candlestick chart, not chart, signals into a pattern, it gives you that much more clarity as what's happening. So what do we expect coming out of a fry pan bottom? A big price move, which puts this one in the same category. CWEI was up $5 today. Crude oil wasn't really moving all that much. So that's telling you there's something going on here that isn't going to be related to what the crude oil prices are doing or what the market's doing. Okay, a few others that we've got that are acting well. ARLZ. There's your ultimate J-hook pattern. Wave 1, Wave 2, Doji sandwich breakout on Wave 3. Still heading higher. I'd still be buying this one on positive trading. And with the anticipation that we've still probably got another 1.5 to the upside on this one. YY is another pattern that was setting up. It was the possible bobble. And what we really needed to see was a breakout of the 200-day moving average, which it couldn't do over here. But now we've got a bullish engulfing signal. A positive open on this tomorrow after the bullish engulfing right here at the 200 would create a very high probability that wave 3 would be in progress. So I mention this because if you can see where a price is just about ready to break out, that's excellent timing for either stock buying and or option trading. So if this opens positive tomorrow, probably the September's obviously are too close. Be looking at the October calls on that one. Lynn, hang on to all your individual stocks. When I tell Jim to do the double line, everybody can put up to two requests in, but wait for Jim to do the double line. Another one that has been acting well, and this is where you sit with the criteria that if, as long as things stay above the T-line, you can stay long. You can see the J-hook pattern setting up an NPTN. This one still should have, possibly another 4 points to the upside. And we recommended MLCK today on the basis that anytime you see that piercing signal, not piercing signal, I guess it would be a piercing signal, but a belt hold signal, the first thing that should enter your mind is that they've wiped out a lot of sellers. They gapped down, sellers were pushing it hard, but the bulls were able to sop up all that selling and start taking you higher, which means if there's the bulls and the bears were fighting in here and you just took out a lot of the bears, that means there's less bears in the way. The next move is usually going to be fairly substantial. Now, I don't know which ones we were kind of commenting on that in the chat room today, of the difference between LMCA or LMCK. I guess it really doesn't matter. I guess one has voting rights and one doesn't, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to be voting on anything. Let's see. And PBYI is one that we've held. Where are these lines coming from? This one, all you have to do is stay long as it stays above the T line. Now, a few others that were showing up as pretty strong buys. Here's SHEN. Notice what bottomed here. A whole series of indecisive trading, dojis. Now they've told you which way they're going to go. The probabilities are it's heading higher, with the possibility of the 50-day moving average being your next target. Now, I've been keeping an eye on SPU because it's bounced off a Morningstar type signal through this downtrending channel off the 50 area. Now it's doing a J-hook. Now, the reason it's interesting is it's got a big, huge upside potential, meaning the percent move from 2 to possibly 20, I can figure this out, 8 points, that's about a 75% upside potential. So watching this one fairly closely for positive trading tomorrow. Now, the biotechs seem to have picked up a little bit of strength today. This is ENDP, bullish engulfing, kind of a double bottom. You can be buying this one on positive trading. And EPZ, is that M? It looked more like a bullish engulfing on the other charts, but it also might be bottoming in here. And NVCR, you want to be ready to buy this one because if it opens positive, what's our simple doji rule? It's going to move in the direction of how they open it after a doji. If they open up positive, what type of signal are you going to have? You're going to have a bullish flutter kicker coming out of a fry pan bottom. I would imagine your first target is right up here to the 50, which means you're already into a positive trade. And then the possibility of moving through this level all the way back up in this area to fill that gap. OCUL, another one that looks like it's starting to come back up, probably heading back up to the 200-day moving average. Good solid uptrend. And blue, notice when it broke out of this downtrending channel, consolidated right back to the T line. Now look where it is, right smack dab on this resistance level. Probably want to be watching this one. This might be a good option trade tomorrow on positive trading. And let's see what else we got here. AX, EX. Whose handwriting is this? Notice the little J-hook type pattern. Morningstar signal bouncing up off the T-line. Still has a lot more upside potential. All right, that's the biotech starting to pick up some steam. Sprint is one that David L. has been pointing out. There's your fry pan bottom. There's kind of your whipsaw, which usually results in a much bigger move. I'd be a buyer of Sprint on positive trading. CEST. The reason I'm pointing this one out is, notice this signal right here. There's your kicker signal, which means you probably have a high probability of not only more upside, but strong upside. That's a kicker signal. BEL, another kicker signal. And where did this close? Right here about the resistance level. Get ready to buy this one on strength. And Prego, another kicker signal. And look where this kicker signal occurred. Through the T-line, through the 50, right here at this resistance level. This should be something to be looking at if you're trading options. Momo, I brought this one up because there are a lot of charts like this where they sold off over the last few days, but then he had huge piercing signals today. And this makes it very simple. If it opens positive, you want to be buying these immediately because you're J-hook patterns. And this will probably be also a function of the market itself is starting to move right back up again. So obviously, if the market opens down 75 points tomorrow, a lot of these aren't going to open up strong. They're going to start fading off. But if we wake up and the pre-market futures are up 75 bucks, 75 points, you want to start looking at these J-hook type patterns. Gold wasn't very strong, but had a lot of the gold stocks picking up a lot of steam. There's Alamo, AGI, another one that can be bought on positive trading. AU was one that we would be shorting had it opened lower and started trading lower. It opened lower and immediately started trading positive. So now essentially you've got a double bottom setup. So we're watching things like this. SA did a big piercing signal. Goro came right back pretty strong today. Big bullish engulfing. I would still be a buyer of this one up around 660. EXK, another big piercing bullish engulfing type signal. Can be bought on strength. And Freeport, big, huge bullish engulfing. Remember, the bigger the signal, the more compelling there's a change of investor sentiment. Fizz is for those that want to be a little bit more conservative. Look where your Morningstar signal occurred, right smack dab off the 200. Where was your bullish engulfing signal? Right smack dab off the 200. Now what do you got as far as convergence analysis? Two buy signals right off the 200-day moving average, practically at the same level, double bottom. Morningstar signal that closed above the T-line. Confirmation today, breaking out through this level. More than likely, you're in an uptrend. All you have to do now is if you're buying, just watch to see what it does at the 50. So I'm pointing this one out mainly because the probabilities of this one moving higher, how much higher we don't know, but the probabilities of this moving higher are extremely high. SPXL, another one that you watch. This was the S&P bull 3X ETN. The piercing signals are the ones to be, and this kind of exemplifies the point where somebody said, which signals are the strongest of the signals. Some signals occur quite a bit in one condition of the market. Happen to be today piercing signals were the large quantity of signals. So they all work. We've already narrowed them down from 50 to 60 down to 12, 6 long and 6 shorts. It's just a matter of identifying those 6 and seeing what the rest of the market is doing. So we still don't know whether the market is heading up or heading down. So here's something like Tata Motors, that if this one opens lower tomorrow, notice your island reversal up here. There's kind of your little evening star with a gap down. You can draw a circle right around this. This is your island. If it opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting this one. FNBC. See how they kind of rolled this over? You're sitting right here on a support level, the last support level. If this opens lower, you can be shorting it. Did this one right. TGH, same thing. Notice how it hasn't been able to get up through the T-line. Now you've had the doji gap down, telling you might be in your next wave to the downside. So the reason I point this one out is when you start seeing them fail the T-line and rolling over, then gap down from a doji, the likelihood is they're heading down. That's kind of the same criteria we're working off of on our when we bought puts on Cummins with that doji gap down. Little bit testy here, but that's why we have to see how this thing opens tomorrow. If it opens positive, we're covering our short or our puts. If it opens lower, kind of still anticipating there's a nice steady downtrend. Sean, that may be true too. ADR will gap around a little bit, but at least you can see what the signal was on it, that it was a evening star signal. Now there's a slow curve breakdown on Taro and DDC. Notice your bearish engulfing signal. Notice where you were, right here, and they gap down through that support level. Could be now in wave 3 to the downside. All right. Guess that's about all I got tonight. So again, the importance of tomorrow's trading is seeing how the pre-market futures look. If they're lower, anticipate this market heading lower. Yeah, the ADRs are just, they're hard to trade. But Tata has a big enough volume that I guess it still gaps around a bit. All right, are there any general questions on candlesticks? How do you evaluate a bullish engulfing with both candles being green? We had one of those. Which ones was it? Elliot? Oh, let's see. We had one on, I think it was MOH the other day. So how do you evaluate this? There's your Morningstar signal. There's your doji sandwich. So you had a McMuffin. Closed here, and they opened it right back here and took it right back up. What did that tell you about the bulls and the bears? Told you every time the bears got involved, the bulls came right back again. I'd still be a buyer of this one on positive trading. Las Vegas Sands. Ooh. Is that what, or is this the flaw? Bullish engulfing. Oh, with both candles. This I wouldn't. I would just say this is a bullish engulfing. Now remember, a bullish engulfing in the overbought condition doesn't mean very much. But notice the kicker signal that started this uptrend. So you opened right here on the T-line and took it back up. You don't call that a bullish engulfing in the sense that that's a reversal signal. That's just telling you they can't close it below the T line. They're still taking this one up. Okay, I guess with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 3.2 seconds, do the next double line. Do you consider volatility of stock while picking the stocks having similar chart patterns? What can be used in Thinkorswim to know volatility? Yes, you do use volatility. Morale. Hope I said that right. But you got to remember, there's a lot of times where the previous volatility on something becomes irrelevant. Let's see, I'm trying to think of one now. In our EBRR. Remember, the volatility of this stock was very insignificant right in here. This is what we're playing. So we're not, the volatility means something in the sense that if I looked at this and I'm going to just pick out a stock and say if this was Motorola and Motorola had a nice pattern and it could move from 70 to 74 over the next 2 weeks, that may not be very impressive. That's I don't even know what that is. Maybe a 6% move or something. But if I'm looking at something like this, where the move could go from 7 to 10, a 50% move, yes, I'm going to go with that chart. So you have to kind of visually recognize whether what the price movement is going to be to get to your next target. PTCT, nice little bullish engulfing signal today. Another one that's not real exciting, but can be bought on positive trading because it is right at the breakout area. And OTIC, all you can do right now is stay long. And again, the convincing factor is it's using the T-line as support. CPA had a nice chart, nice J-hook pattern. If you like this one, you can stay long. I would anticipate it's going to come right back up to the top of this trend channel, so it's got more upside. So I wouldn't be afraid to be going after that. Oh boy, CME. Just a slow, steady uptrend. If you came out of it in the last couple of days because it was closing below the T-line, you get ready to buy it back on positive trading tomorrow. Again, that will be a function of how the market opens up. And ATEN, another one that if you closed it out yesterday, you can buy this one back on positive trading. Now, I say that quickly because there's a lot of times where things are looking bad and you should close them out. But that doesn't stop you from coming right back into it when what looked like it was looking bad has turned right around and doing what it was supposed to be doing back up above the T-line. SGYP, kind of the same scenario. If you closed it out this morning on weaker trading, you get ready to buy this one back on positive trading. Remember, you're not trying to maximize your profitability on each individual trade. You're trying to maximize your profitability for your account, which means you get out of positions that aren't looking good and you get back into positions that have turned around and look good again. SGYP, same scenario. You can be buying this one on positive trading. Sage, same scenario. Again, this is a lot of these that get back up. You have the same criteria. You better see the market open positive tomorrow and things continue to trade positive. SPWR, SunPower. Right now, if you're short, you stay short until it gets back up above the T-line. RYI, nothing here yet. If you're short, you stay short. But if it opens positive tomorrow, it tells you what's happening. They're supporting right here at this level. You kind of hold, or you can close out your short position. If it opens positive tomorrow and I was short, I'd close out the position, but then there's nothing. I wouldn't be long or short. And Halo, the bigger the signal, the more compelling. There's been a change, and this one took you right up through the 50. This one you want to be definitely buying on positive trading tomorrow. Line, same scenario. If you closed it out yesterday, you should be buying it back on positive trading. If you held on to it, you stay long. Facebook needs a little bit more. Didn't quite, just about at the halfway point. But same scenario. If it opens positive, you stay long. If it opens lower and starts trading down, close out the position. Tezar, you stay short. I would use today's high as a stop. If it comes back up through there, they're probably bouncing up at least to the T-line area. I saw Tesla was up pretty good today. Bullish Harami. Very simple. If it opens positive, you cover your short position. If you didn't cover your short position today with it trading back up above the open of Friday, because if it came up through there, where do you think it was going to? Probably up to the T-line. And the VIX, same scenario. Have to see how they open the markets tomorrow. IAG, big bullish engulfing. Get ready to buy this. Before I go too much further, I forgot to mention to some of the futures traders. Been shorting the hogs. Let me take a quick futures. And when it opened positive today and started trading positive after the morning star or evening star signal, notice what type of signals we've been getting in here. We failed with a bearish engulfing signal right smack dab off the 50. Had a big evening star signal over here, and then it started trading positive. Covered the short position on the 10-minute chart and went long, closed out, got back in, closed it out here and went short, and it started breaking down. No, I'm sorry, didn't trade it over here. Right in here, I'm sorry, this is a 10-minute chart. That's why I was so. When it started trading up above the T-line in the oversold or after the big down day on Friday, covered it and then went long and closed it out up in this area because it had good profits. The reason we closed it out quick was what was the overall direction of this whole trend? It's still downwards. So any buying had to be watched with a little bit more suspicion. Went short again in this area, right below the T-line, because notice what it did when it came up here. Failed right at that level. So we wrote it down going into the close with the idea tomorrow, if it opens lower, which would be breaking this channel, we should have a lot of downside in lean hogs. Anyways, I meant to point that out earlier. Let's see. IAG, big bullish engulfing. RETA, or IAG, you can buy in positive trading. This fry pan bottom is now breaking out nicely. So if you're in this one, you start being a little bit more diligent. Notice how far away you're moving away from the T-line. What do you expect coming out of a fry pan bottom? A big price move. Where did it break out? Right about where the fry pan bottom started. You stay long until you see your first sell signal. If you're that far away from the T-line. Then if you start moving way up above the T-line, flip to your 10-minute chart. Win-Dixie is right, not Win-Dixie, Win Resorts right back up here to the breakout level. If you're long, you stay long, obviously, but you want to definitely see what it does at that resistance level. Pfizer, if you were short, you should have covered it today for two reasons. Number one, Pfizer just doesn't have a lot of movement to it. It's an institutional trader. And two, with that big bullish engulfing in the oversold area, it's telling you that the force of the downtrend is not very strong. Blackstone, don't trade this one very much. It just never has any real great dynamic charts. But right now, if you're short, I would stay short. If it opens positive, expect a little bounce back up to test the T-line area. This is a good-looking chart. As a matter of fact, I'm putting a little star next to this one. You can see the pattern. You can see what's happening right here. Did a doji today. If it opens positive, practically they're going to be breaking out through this level. I'd be a buyer. Very reminiscent of this one right here. Amazon came back strong today. Notice it opened right on the 50, just touched the T-line. Same scenario, though. It's either going to confirm or not confirm, and that's will be based on probably the opening price. Google, same scenario. Big belt hold, not a belt hold, but a piercing signal. Needs to have confirmation. NVDA, same scenario. Bounced off the 50. If you were short, I'd be ready to cover it on positive trading. If you're looking to go long, it still needs to close above the T-line. SYG. Ooh, I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, Don, are you looking for SGY? Maybe, which would be a lap. Get ready to buy this if it comes up through the 50. eBay, stay long. If you closed it out on Friday, you could be ready to buy it back. The uptrend will remain in progress. Just don't let it close back below the T-line again. Sandstorm, another one you can buy on positive trading if you closed it out in the last couple of days. iTube, you still needs to, you can see the 50 may be a crucial support level. You still don't buy it, though, until you see it close above the T-line. Need that bullish confirmation. AMDA, JB, if that's what you're looking at, it's nothing to get real excited about. XIV, watch to see if the 50 is a crucial support level. We do Tazar. Tazar, if it opens positive, probably going to bounce up to the T-line. NCR, same scenario. If it opens positive, they're probably bouncing it. If you're short, you want to see this open lower tomorrow. Eldorado, another one you can buy on positive trading. Just make sure your volume's good on these lower priced ones. And HZNP, big bullish engulfing signal. If you're buying this one on positive trading, just obviously watch to see what it does when it gets to the 50. SPHS, hope it's got good volume. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading up through the T-line, making your next target the 50-day moving average. Chesapeake was holding up well today. All you can do here is stay long. At this point, with your stochastics in the overbought condition, put your stop at today's open. It shouldn't come back down through that level. Con had been moving nicely. It's still moving nicely. That's breaking out of this indecisive trading area. That's why you should be watching Shen. Tata. No, not an abandoned baby. It's island reversal. Abandoned baby is only one day signal. And CYH, you stay long. Obviously, the crucial factor is right here at the 50 to see if it can break through that level. I will pause. Okay, let's see. SVVC. Nothing here. If you're short, you stay short. If you're a buyer, I'd use today's high as a stop, but nothing yet. With such an iffy market, do you have tighter stops? Yeah, tighter stops or quicker decision making. But if something starts going the opposite direction of what it should be doing, close it out, because that means it's not moving in the direction of with a definite move one way or the other. After a big green day, if a doji is formed beside the previous day candle at the top end range, we consider it as a bearish harami or potential doji sandwich. That you don't know until the next day. You won't know whether it's just consolidation, but you do have the benefit of knowing that whatever way it moves the day after the doji is probably the direction they're going to move it. BK, Bank of New York, not a very exciting one to trade, but the slow uptrend remains in progress as long as it stays above the T-line. So another one that if you closed it out on Friday, you get ready to buy it back, but this one's a pretty slow mover. Okay, I guess that's, oops, got more. Would you move funds from CVRR to CVI? No. I'd move funds from someplace else to CVI and hang on to CVR. How many push-ups go with that lap? Doesn't really matter. You just put on your tennis shoes and run one lap around the house. All right, everybody, have a good evening. Well, we got done early tonight. I'll try to come on early in the morning before the market opens, because we're at least that by then we'll see which way the pre-market futures are moving. At least figure up game plan. All right, everybody. See you bright and early in the morning.